Deep in the midst of an urban centre, under a bizarre canopy, there lives a species of defiant survivalist, and in the food chain, they don't rank very high. Yet, they survive amongst the trials and tribulations of student life, their very livelihood balanced so precariously on the edge of financial ruin and personal disaster. They are student poor, easy prey for costly expenses, and always the purveyor of frugality. As they mature, they find themselves here, in the tepid savanna that lies between youth and the art world. Or working as a barista till 29, when they finally realize it's time for a business degree. They are the OCADEOUS PAUPERAUS, or the poor art student. In the depths of the student's grazing land, we select a subject of the species to follow. We shall call him Jack. As our crew follows Jack, we must maintain a safe distance and remember our non-interference philosophy. Food becomes scarce as midweek approaches. Though the art student is not generally considered a scavenger, Jack's methods of procuring food are numerous. Jack has spotted a plate of finger food left over from a meeting. He will find reason to pass by the front desk as many as 6 times. His companions have also figured this out. Cheap foods are bought in bulk. Finishing the food of another student is common practice. Of course, the social behavior of the art student are not all aggressive. They often gather to play, to learn about another by sniffing their sketchbook, or other things. Often, the art student, so compelled to their particular territory, such as the sculpture studio or media lab, will find partners of local stock. As resources do not often allow for the proliferation of the species, the mating habits of the art student are not well observed. Is it a live birth or otherwise? Some suggest that the art student lays a glittery purple egg and stashes it among the art, naturally camouflaging it until the young are born, and the cycle starts anew. This is, however, just a theory. Back on the landscape, Jack is facing some of his most threatening predators. Where many other species dish out hundreds of dollars for textbooks, the art student is often thrown by any book with a 2-digit price tag. Of course, there are many other predators that the art student faces. What appears to be a circling black void seems to feed on them, but upon closer inspection, the void is revealed to be several smaller, swarming predators. As evening falls, Jack and the others in his colony return to the den-like structure known as the student house. It is in itself an obstacle. In the feeding area, remnants of past meals lay strewn, and space is tight. And of course, there is a coveted resource that must supply the entire colony. This item's scarcity is often the source of resentment amongst members. Toilet paper. Often, with the supposition of so many colony members, they will hold out in desperation of what seems like a contest of pride, waiting for another to return it to the den. Someone has left a stack of paper napkins from a local restaurant, and the students will be fine for another night. On a rainy day, Jack has raced out early in the morning, but activity in the den is still wild. After collecting liquor bottles to return, the students pity themselves over such a small catch. After splitting the earnings, the students seem mournful. They have not gathered enough each for any specialty coffees, and they will have to settle for Tim Hortons. There is a commotion from the upper region of the den. It is the adversarial printer, and it has chosen an inopportune time to be temperamental. The printer will allow a student to print indefinitely for fun, but in times of desperate need, malfunctions. This art student has an essay due. After a quick struggle, the art student is victorious, deciding to opt for the flare of blue ink in light of a troublesome cartridge. It is a fix for now, but the student will have to purchase a new one. And what of Jack? We return to him upon his release. He has just awakened and is clearly agitated by the wildlife team's tracking device.
Seriously, this is just not worth the $50. It's just not worth it.
We observe him a little longer to ensure that the device is not cumbersome to daily activities.
Are you gonna eat that?
The habitat is merciless, but the student is resilient. We now leave the OCADEOUS pauperous. Hopefully, the growing interest in the species shall benefit him in the future. But for now, he is the poor art student.